astrology is not causational in nature. It is, at its very core, a divinatory art form whereby the practitioner, the reader, the astrologer is looking at patterns in the sky to ascertain potential life circumstances, potential life events, these sorts of things, to make a judgment on how it might impact or affect the human being born under a particular combination of planets in signs within houses, your natal chart. It's a language. Astrology is a language. Maybe it's God talking to you, or the gods, or the universe, but it is essentially a puzzle, a way of communicating what might happen on a mundane or global level. And as those current transiting planets are interacting with your natal chart, what could happen to you? It is divinatory in nature, not causational. Originally, when astrology was first being practiced, used, developed thousands of years ago, they weren't really super concerned with the psychology of an individual person, meaning that they didn't really care if you were born with a Capricorn moon, and so we were just going to assign the character trait at infancy that this person is going to be cold and perhaps not very good at expressing their emotions. They weren't looking at the psychology of a human. They were looking at the life events that might be experienced as a result of having been born under that particular moon. Now, as we all know though, certain events are going to have a psychological effect or impact on the human psyche. And because there are patterns and there are, studies having been done that show that usually if X, Y, and Z happens, very often the human might respond by exhibiting character traits of A, B, and C. Okay? So let's go ahead and use everybody's least favorite moon placements, Capricorn moon and Scorpio moon, to describe or express what it is I'm trying to say, what point I'm trying to make. So Capricorn moon. One cannot just simply say because you're born under a Capricorn moon that you're going to be cold, that you are going to be overly responsible, that you're going to try to fix everybody's problems rather than emote, that you're not going to just run around and tell everybody your feelings. It's not something that a Capricorn moon is known for doing unless they have a lot of other positively mitigating factors within their chart. Usually with a Capricorn moon, patterns you see, and moons are often going to be associated with your relationship or your experience or quality of the maternal figure or mother. Often what you'll see with Capricorn moons are children who had mothers who were not able to put in the time, energy, or effort into allowing that child to emotionally express themselves. What we're looking at in modern times, what this could look like, is the single mom who's in school and working full time to put food on the table. So maybe the eldest daughter, the eldest son, had to do all of the caretaking of the younger siblings. Maybe things were really challenging at home, and there was a fear of perhaps if I express what's going on at home, maybe there's not enough food, or maybe there is some abuse happening or neglect. If I express these things in an outward manner at school, maybe CPS shows up and my siblings get taken away. And maybe we all wind up in foster care, or my mom gets in trouble. Or maybe your mom is so stressed in this scenario, anytime you try to express anything, they feel so guilty that they snap at you. And so you learn to keep yourself safe and to keep harmony within the household, that you have to check your emotions for a better time later. Maybe, perhaps, you had to learn that the only way to make things okay in your household was to fix, to ensure that things were going well. So now, as an adult, what do you think the Capricorn moon child becomes? They become the fixer of their friend group. They become the person that's not really good at expressing themselves because they've never been taught. They never had a safe space to do these things. So that's how psychology kind of plays in to astrology. It's not that that planet in that sign was like, that's your quality, and you could have picked this baby up and handed it to any parents and they were just going to automatically be that way. Let's talk about the Scorpio moon, just as another example. A Scorpio moon will often experience situations where maybe their mother was into occult studies. And so they grow up and they're very interested in occult studies, things that are hidden. Occult means hidden things. Maybe, perhaps, their mother had an affair and cheated on dad. Maybe the mother got into the habit of reading this child's journal and then weaponizing the things that they found in that journal against that child. So that child never really learned to trust the mother. Maybe the mother was a single parent and didn't really date. So the child never had to share the mother. So this child grows up, and what do you think said Scorpio child becomes? What character or personality traits do you think that they learn to embody? Maybe they don't trust people. Maybe they keep things very hidden and very secret. Maybe they are occult practitioners because of the experiences that they had in their childhood. So it's patterns that create, or like specific placements that create this pattern that when born under that particular placement, these particular things have a higher likelihood of happening. And because human psychology is human psychology, it impacts the mind similarly across the board. So you'll see it statistically happening where those people born under that particular planet and that particular sign tend to exhibit personality traits X, Y, and Z. So do you see how astrology is not causational? It's not that the moon is literally sprinkling dust on a little baby and making it distrusting or emotionally unavailable. It's that it's showing you, it's telling you ahead of time, these are things that you're likely going to experience. And as a result, very often you might become this way, because psychology is a thing, it's a real thing. So that is my rant. I hope that makes astrology make a little bit more sense to you. If you have any questions, put them in the comment section. If you want to book a reading with me, reach out to me. I will never reach out to you. Don't get scammed. I'll see you guys in the next one.